Welcome to Bon Jovi Discussions. Today we are going to be talking about the last disc of the box set, which I truly love. And today I have my buddy Brian from Long Island, New York. How you doing, buddy?
Good, Jerry. How you been?
Good. You staying safe over there?
Trying. Every day is a different struggle, but family's doing well, so that's all I could ask for.
That's all that matters. So
Yep.
anyway, you and I, we've talked before. We've talked tremendously, long amounts of time talking about our favorite band here. And I was like, you know what? I gotta get him on one of these discs. Well, I'm
Well,
glad to have you.
yeah,
But
thanks for the opportunity.
absolutely. So just a little bit of an overview of this. This box set was released in November 16th, 2004. It was to celebrate 20 years of the band at the time and marking 100 million Bon Jovi fans or 100 million records sold. And so they called it 100 million Bon Jovi fans. I can't be wrong. And the cover, they copied what Elvis did when reached 50 million. So I thought
Yep,
that was kind of cool. So this is like the holy grail for diehard fans. This is,
absolutely.
uh, just full of outtakes and demos and, really cool stuff. Um, so yeah. What's your memory of getting this for the first time?
A friend of
I,
mine.
let's get it out of the way. Make me jealous one more.
So I had a copy already, and then I went with a friend of mine to the Borgata show. We were there the night they did all the songs that aired like on a pay-per-view and then eventually on a DVD. And for that one night only, they were selling these, which is autographed copy by all four
That's gonna be
guys.
mine one day.
And for everybody out there who wants Jerry to have this, we'll discuss at the end how Jerry can get this. So this has never left this case since the day after the Borgata show. I never opened it, actually physically opened it. I just opened it now to take out the disc for doing this because I don't have my other copy anymore. So it cracked open basically like a new book. Um, so it's just funny to revisit everything again. I burned everything onto discs so I didn't have to ruin that and constantly open and take out the disc to and from. So that has literally been sitting there for 17 years in that case.
So you got it at the Borgata show.
The Borgata show was one night only. They were offering them. I went up to the merch stand before the show and I went, oh my God. And I couldn't hand over the money fast enough.
How much was it then?
100.
It was 100 because
It was
I
100
remember
bucks.
I remember the box set itself. I think I got mine. And I'll tell my story here in a second. But I got mine at Kmart, and I think it was like $70 or something. Kmart
Mm-hmm.
was a high price too, so maybe Walmart retail maybe 50, but now you can find it anywhere for like $5,
Exactly.
which is a steal for anyone that doesn't have it right now. You can get it on like any like eBay and blah blah blah. But I mean,
Absolutely.
look at that. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was massive.
yeah.
The,
So
the the funny part is with the box set, and we saw the track listing. I was a tape trader. I've been a fan since '85, and in the late '80s, early '90s, when all you guys were still babies, because I'm an old man, we used to tape trade. I'm 50, and I used to find people online in the early stages of the internet, and we would trade cassettes, audio cassettes, and I had people from all over the world, from this show or that show, and a lot of these unreleased tracks made it. I heard a lot of these before they ended up on the box. So to hear a finished OB-esque clean version was just so much different. It was so much better.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you my story about how I got introduced. So I became a fan when I was 8 years old in 2000. So by the time the box set came out, I'll call myself a diehard because I was a huge fan. So I was a huge fan for about 4 years now. And this, like I said, was a November release, a month before Christmas. And so I begged my dad, said, Dad, there's nothing more because I got crushed on the first day, One Wild Night on the first day,
Oh yeah.
Bounce, feels right, And so I was like, Dad, I got to get the box on the first day because he told me he was going to get it for me for Christmas. I said, we got to get it on the first day though. So after begging and pleading my dad and doing a bunch of chores, I was 12 at this point. And so my dad took me to Kmart the day it came out, and we got it. And then I wasn't allowed to listen to it or do anything. I was just allowed to look at it. And then it was going to be wrapped up when we got home. I begged him. And it was about an hour drive home. And I said, Dad, please. I was reading these off. Like these were all songs that I didn't know yet.
Sure, yeah.
And the only stuff that I just finished collecting the whole catalog of their music. And so thankfully my dad said, okay, I'll let you listen to one disc and that's it. So for some reason, and it's my favorite disc of the whole box set, I picked disc 3. And then when we got home, I had to give it back and
Put it away.
For Christmas Day, even though I had already opened it, this is the first gift I went under the tree to find and
Nice.
reopen. But honestly, that whole winter of 2004, this is all I listened to because there's over 40 songs here.
Oh, absolutely.
DVD and this is before YouTube, as you said a little bit ago, before YouTube days. So it's truly, like I said, it's the holy grail for diehard fans like us. This is something that huge fans really appreciate.
Absolutely.
So, well, how about we start digging into? Before we get into the disc 4, 2 questions. What's your favorite song out of the whole box set?
I know you and I have discussed this on Twitter, and it seems to change. Sorry, everybody. I'm looking at the track listing again. So, from starting all over again goes back to New Jersey. So that was always a fan favorite. Last Chance Train was always a favorite. Edge of a Broken Heart. I was around when that broke on Z100 in New York. It was on the top 5 every night, and everybody was requesting that song. As I said, it just changes so much. Memphis Lives in Me by David. That was awesome. That's what sparked, the Memphis play. I went to go see that on Broadway. It was amazing. Last Man Standing, of course, but we heard that in multiple inclinations. So right now, I'd have to say probably maybe Someday.
Oh, okay.
Right now, that's the one I've been gravitating to more so. Like I said, my favorite. See, and it changes right again, because I told you on Twitter what I enjoyed, and that was Satellite. So actually, no, I'm going to stick with Satellite.
Okay. Now, how about you tell me disc 4 when we get to that song? You tell me what your absolute favorite is.
On disc 4?
Yeah, but don't tell me until we get to the song.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, so the first track is, well, actually, we'll combine the first 2 tracks is Love Ain't Nothing But a 4-letter word. And this was written this is a Keep the Faith demo. And so they did a demo, and then I think John was actually going to put it on the album. But then I think it was like one of the last few songs that actually got pulled. So let's see here. So the second one is the demo. The first track is the unreleased version. Obviously, the original is better, but it's nice, just like Always and Someday I'll Be Saturday Night Live. It's really cool to see the demo and then compare it to the final version. So that was nice.
Absolutely.
So this whole the meaning of this song is all about spousal abuse. John said that, and I think it's pretty clear too, what it's about. One of my favorite things about this song is the horns and the lyric and the key changes.
You should see my notes. You're saying the same exact things I wrote down. I'll let you finish it, then I'll just.
I got a bunch of notes. Let's hear what your overview of the song is.
The original, the really unreleased version, the groove is better. The horns made it a lot better than that's what I said. Horns are a great touch on the finished version. This to me is Southside Johnny. This song is all Southside Johnny.
It has that R&B feel to it.
It had the groove, and I'll never forget the first time I heard it, I went, okay, this is different. And then it twisted with the horns, and I went, oh my God, this is Southside Johnny playing this in Asbury. That's all I heard. And then, they're going through the lyrics. I said, I looked at it. He cheated and she chose herself. He beat her. Even the twist of the harmonica, bringing back the harmonica on the track towards the end, where the demo version had a completely different groove, no horns, and it just felt flat. It felt like a demo. And it was less of a story than the completed version in terms of the songwriting.
Yep.
But it was just a great song. I mean, the demo version, I was like, because you're so used to the finished product.
Absolutely.
Where I liked the alternative these days. I liked the alternative always.
Yeah, because fans like you and me, we really appreciate those demos because we can see the efforts and the hard work it took to, sometimes as fan or, anybody, we hear a song and think, wow, they did a good job on that. But we don't know all the work that went involved in writing it, finding the right chords to it, demos, what it takes to actually complete the end product of that song.
I mean, who decided to put horns in it? That was just,
yeah,
from the dipset.
And speaking of horns and all that, you got to give credit to the harmonica. I love the harmonica on it. That's
when we first heard, it came out on New Jersey tour when he first started playing it. It was towards Born to Be My Baby, and I was there at Giant Stadium in '89, and you see him clap, and somebody tosses him the harmonica, and everybody just lost his mind. It's like, it's just a harmonica. But you know what what I purchased a week later? A harmonica.
He does a great job in the harmonica in this song. I really like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another last favorite of mine on this song is I love John's background vocals in the end, along with the women that are singing in the background too. But when he's singing "It Ain't Nothing Now, Baby," or "Yeah, Yeah, Yeah," when he does the "Yeah, Yeah, Yeah," it takes me back to the Blaze of Glory album for some reason, just the way that he
absolutely
sings that. What's your favorite lyric?
Actually, I have it was the bridge. Forget your mama's rosary beads to get you through this time of need. You got to cross that line. You take it one day at a time.
You took my.
And it's right there.
Yeah. That was mine too. All right, next track, "River Runs Dry." This was written for These Days album, and it's written by John and Desmond Child. It's a good song, but I can see why it was an outtake. I think the whole meaning to this song is making a promise, but you're unable to keep it because of desperate times.
See, and I thought it was the guy was going to jail.
You think so?
See, I don't know why. I'm like, is he going to jail?
Yeah, I really wonder what what influenced John to write this. But anyway, so what do you think of the song in general?
I liked it. I liked the chorus had amazing vocals. Everything leading up to the chorus was like, But when it starts, everybody knows the promise of the river, and the song changes, goes to that next aspect.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the song. Everything leading up to it, I was like, I was like, for Desmond to write that with him, I was expecting just a little more. So, but the hook was good, and then again the bridge. Oh, I remember when the rivers ran high. Oh, and we can make it to the other side.
Yeah.
But then he hits that next, make it to the other side, and I went, that didn't need to be in there. I was like,
See,
so
that's my favorite part of the song, though, was when he sings "Make It to the Other Side." I love that.
When he stopped and it went silent.
I like that guitar intro, that acoustic intro, but for some reason, I wish they would have kind of tweaked that a little more.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second to last, "There's Nothing Anybody Could Do When the River Runs Dry." I put the note. I didn't like the vocals going up at that point. I was like, it just was like a reach, and I went, "Why?"
See, that was like the highlight for me of the song is when.
And for me, it's
this song demonstrates a lot of John's incredible vocals, especially These Days era. But you're gonna call me crazy here, but I would actually like to see this song get performed during a Runaway Trip.
I would, but I would like to tweak, like you said, tweak it. I mean, he's not going to hit those notes anymore.
No,
I mean, we all got to be honest on here. So maybe if he did an acoustic version of this, maybe with Everett backing him up at some point, or even the violin with Lorenza backing him up, something subtle. And I love the chorus. I love the way it changes. Just the rest of the song is like,
Yeah.
I can see why it was a demo.
Well, we will never see this song live.
No,
John probably forgot about it too.
Yeah.
So I'll go my favorite lyric first, just in case you took mine again. Just another star in the sky, tried to touch it, but I couldn't fly.
No, mine was the bridge. I just where the chorus starts. Everybody knows the promise of the river.
Yeah.
That was it. Those 4 lines.
Hey, let's go to the next one.
Okay.
So the Always demo. Side note: one thing I wish they would have done though was like dedicate a whole other disc on here, full of demos. You know,
Just the
because
rough versions.
we only got Saturday Night, Always, Prayer, which we'll get to,
Yeah.
and then Loving Nothing But a Four-Letter Word. So it would have been nice to kind of have a whole disc and see, what the demos were, and then the final cut. Anyway, so track 4 is the demo for Always, which was originally, and it was on Crossroads, obviously completely different version. I do like the Crossroads version a lot more, but I do love this version, especially with the John's incredible vocals on it. I think those were really, really good, and how it has a heavier and amazing piano sound. You hear the piano more in here. I think it's more of like an acoustic always, because obviously Richard didn't do anything electric on this one, this
See,
demo.
and this is where I'm gonna get all the hate mail. I hated this version.
Oh man. Oh,
Here's all my notes. I hated the bridge vocals. They needed to let the music breathe more, like it was on the final version. I thought it was too busy with all the music and especially the bass. I hated the solo. They needed to get rid of the backing vocals on it. I mean, I know it was just a demo. John singing at the end the super high notes, more high than it was on the finished version. Just to me, I went, maybe I'm just conditioned to the finished version. But when I first heard this, I went, I don't like this version.
oh man. Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. I also love the band's vocals on the outro of it. The way that they are
See, and
saying.
it just to me was like I said,
Yeah.
fade out backing vocals. I don't like them.
We'll go to the next track then. This one's a huge fan favorite, at least in the diehard fan base. Kidnap an Angel, which I think was written for Crush, and it was written by John and Billy Falcon.
Yes.
And it's truly a heartbreaking song, especially the bridge.
Yep.
I think there's two meanings to this song. One is obviously, and the bridge is the perfect example of this meaning, is seeing your loved one die. Seeing them in pain and dying. And then the other side of this song too is your loved one in heaven and wishing that you could kidnap them, bring them back, and be with them again and stuff. So it's very heartbreaking song. And like I said, my favorite part of the song is the bridge. When he lays that story down of going to the hospital, going to that room, sitting beside the hospital. I mean, and just the way that he delivers that vocally, I mean, that gives you goosebumps. I don't know about you, but every time I listen to that song, I get goosebumps. Especially that part there.
That was my notes. I said I loved the story. The last 6 lines from where he'd say the word, he'd tear down these walls. That whole end, I just loved it.
Yeah.
What I didn't love was the music.
Oh.
Was the music behind it. To me, I couldn't. I said I've been listening, forever. So I know what I like out of them. And I was just, for this particular version, not that they ever did any other version, but I wrote, not a fan of the music, loved the note to his dying wife, and I loved the story.
Man, song is a 10 out of 10 for me. This is probably one of the most perfect songs on the box. I
said lyrically, yes. Just music-wise, I was like, maybe I was expecting more. That's me. I'm always expecting, with every new album, I'm always expecting more.
Well, I can see why it didn't make the Crush album, but I still think it's probably one of the best outtakes from the album. And I wonder where he got inspiration to write this song. I love it.
He must, who knows, he may have saw something on television that would, spark a reason to write a song or whatever.
Yeah. Next one is Breathe. This is for the Bounce album. And it was written by John Ritchie and what was his name?
I have it right here. Frederick
Marty,
Martinson.
Marty Fred. Yeah,
Marty Fredrickson.
okay, Ferguson. I knew it was Marty something.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I really enjoy this song. I think I think the meaning is pretty basic, but it's still good. I think just taking a step back and you know what the title suggests, breathe. Just
Yeah,
taking a step back, chilling out, and you know recollecting yourself.
that was one of my notes was not much depth in the songwriting. It was just
But
basically
but,
like you
but
said,
yet but yet
just
it was
let it
good.
out.
Yeah, you know, and that's like one of my favorite lines of the song. Just let it out. Let
Yeah,
your stressors out. Let all the bad just go, and
that
it's
was it
simple,
was
but it's good.
yeah. I liked. I wrote the notes I wrote was great backing vocals. Sonically, I love the softness of it. And then when it got to what I call the living on a prayer hook, if all that we've got is each other, and then all that we got is a lot. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
just another living on a prayer twist.
You see, I was gonna say the same thing, and I was listening to the song last night. I was like, and so every time I hear that part, I always think "Living on a Prayer," but it's
Yeah,
still
it's
good.
the catch line. It's a tagline for so many songs.
Yeah, I love the acoustic guitar in the beginning. Especially in that
Yeah,
verse before the whole band kind of
yep.
clashes. I really like that. Um, my favorite lyric of the song is the second verse, and I love how the guitar is in between each verse. When John takes a quick second break, that. But I had to say my favorite line here. She said, "Baby, you look down tonight. There's something wrong and that ain't right. I hear you talking in your sleep. I want to dive in your dreams, wrap my loving
Mm,
arms around you." I love that, and I love the way that he delivers it. I think that might be
yeah,
why it's my favorite part, just because the delivery to it, and that
yeah.
guitar in between
It
the
was just right, just him with the guitar. It was awesome.
yeah. So next one is Out of Bounds. This is definitely you listen to the sound and John's vocals. They say this was for Slippery, but it sounds 7800. But it's around the same, within the same year.
Yeah, I heard this before the box. I actually have this.
Yeah,
A part of my tape trading and CD trading. I heard this. It was called the Slippery New Jersey Demos, and it was a homemade cover and everything. And I heard this and I went, oh yeah, this is definitely just a
yeah,
throwaway kind of demo.
yeah. It was written by John and Ritchie, and I think this was actually written for a movie, Out of Bounds. I
Out of
think,
bounds.
yeah. And I don't. Did it make the movie?
I don't think so. I never saw the movie. I don't think so. I never saw any credits or anywhere.
Because he was writing that for that, and then Edge of a Broken Heart for
Hmm.
Disorderly. But this was you could, like you said, it's a throwaway song. I don't mind it. It's not something I go and listen to, but like if it comes on, I'm like, okay, I'll listen to.
No.
But you know what's funny about this song? Every time when they sing going down, 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 I always start singing in my head Two Story Town.
Yep. It's like I've heard this, but 10 years
Because
later.
yeah, when they're doing going down, down, then I'm going down, 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 Two-Story Town,
So yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, it was like, it seemed to me like it was like some sort of mafia storyline.
oh,
And
absolutely. I,
I'm like, was he
I
watching? I was like, Sopranos wasn't out back then. Did he have a Godfather moment or something? Or
yeah,
what would make him write this?
but
My note,
yeah, I do love the drums and the guitar solo and John's vocals. I think that's probably the only good thing about this song.
and you didn't
Is
think that was a drum machine?
yeah, I always thought that, but
It sounds like that's one of my notes. It just sounds like a drum machine.
were drum
Maybe
machines
it
even
was just them.
popular? Was it drum machines even really used back then though?
Yeah,
Like
it's
they,
just a track. You just, back in, I used to have a drum, electronic drums.
it,
You just press it and set
yeah,
it. And I'm sure they had the money back then, at least still,
not
to afford
us.
a drum.
But that's why I'm wondering though if it was a track because this is pre-Slippery, so this is before they were even big.
Yeah.
You know? So maybe they didn't have the money for that. And I mean, Tico's good, so I don't know.
Yeah,
That's a good
maybe it
question.
just, to me, it sounded like a technological drum track. And I
Yeah,
called it a writer's block song, but you had
yeah,
nothing else to write. And this just It's just too repetitive. The out of bounds, the out of bounds.
I think it was just like a practice song, just putting something together and seeing how it comes out. And
see what
realize
sticks.
It's not that good, and you throw it away.
Maybe something else will come out of it.
I do have a favorite lyric. A loaded gun needs no alibi. Out on the street where the truth is a lie.
Yeah. Now mine was, you can't forgive what you can't forget.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good line. Good model. Right. All right, let's go to the next one. Letter to a Friend. This was written, I think this was written between Crossroads and These Days.
That's why, yeah.
Somewhere around there.
This was another one I had heard early.
This song had to grow on me over the years, to be honest with you. I think I like and appreciate it a lot more now than I used to. I mean, back then I was okay with it. I think the whole meaning to this song is, I think there's a double meaning here. I think one side of it is, being a good friend and always being there for someone, but wanting more, especially when there's that line, I ain't gonna love you because I love you. And so when I listen to this song, have you heard the song "Missing You" by Tim?
That's exactly what I highlighted right there. That same lyric.
Have you heard the song "I Ain't Missing You" by Tom Waits? Is it or John Waits?
"Missing You" by John Waite. Oh yeah,
I think it has that. It's like that, like proving yourself. I ain't missing you, but I am missing you. So he's pretty much saying, "I'm your friend. I'm always going to be there for you. I love you, but I can't love you." I know we can't go there,
But I ain't gonna love you. I ain't gonna love you because I love you. That's said.
Yeah. It's a great song. Yeah. My favorite line of this is, "Nobody wants you like I want you. Nobody wants you like I want you. There's only one thing I wouldn't do. I ain't gonna love you because I love you."
Yeah.
I think, but you have anything to say about this one?
No, to me, it was basically what you said. What the title says. It was just a letter to a friend. So I've written that letter. Oh yeah, I said I'm old. So no, I enjoy it. That's one of the ones that's on my iPod.
Yeah, it's good. Next one. So it's Temptation. I think it was a New Jersey outtake, written by John. It was actually a B-side back in the 80s on one of the singles. I think "Born to Be My Baby" single, it was a B-side. Now, there's 4 Bon Jovi songs I do not like. 4. But, let me back up. Temptation was one of them. Now, last night, I always skip Temptation because at least I didn't care for it. Last night, I said to myself, you know what? I like this song. So now I only have 3 Bon Jovi songs that I don't like now. 3, not 4, 3. So if anything comes out of these episodes, it's I found a love for Temptation.
There you go. I did it.
Anyway, it's nothing, spectacular, but it's not a bad song. It's funny how songs can grow on you over time.
Yeah. To me, it's Fever. It's Fever.
Yeah.
It's the same group as Fever.
The last 21 years, I told myself, I don't like this song. I don't like this song. Now I love it. So, what's your whole take on this song?
My notes. I love the groove, but it's just the same as the song "Fever" that we've all heard Madonna and a million other people do. Or to me, this could have been a song written by Jim Morrison and performed by the Doors. Yeah. And I was just like, I didn't get it. For me, I did, and I get it was a little bit of a different direction, but wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah, thank God they didn't put it on New Jersey. Yeah. It's one of the smartest decisions in the band's history that is taken off.
Absolutely.
My dog wanted to get on top of me here.
Hi, buddy. And I couldn't tell what the story is about. I was like, is it about a prostitute? Is it about Adam and Eve? I have no idea what the hell I should be.
I think it's all about sex. A young man and a sexual mind. Just temptation for a woman, whether it's a prostitute or anyway. Yeah.
And I'm not that intelligent to know who the hell Democles is, whatever the hell his name is. I went, okay, next.
Yeah. I do like and I was saying this over and over in my head last night because I haven't listened to the song in forever. Twist my wrist, tell me I should resist, but the flesh is weak, here it comes.
Yeah.
Nothing screams young man louder than that with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely, it was best that was an outtake, but
It's always a next track.
exactly. Well, let's go to the next one. The next one is "Gotta Have a Reason." This was pre Crossroads. This is before
Yes.
Crossroads, I think, was even thought about.
This was on my, again, that same disc I have of Slippery and New Jersey demos. I believe that's why I heard it first.
No,
It said
because
93.
yeah, John wrote it right out during Keep the Faith tour.
That's what I say. This is, well, when I got that disc, everything was just labeled all the same. All you knew, some of the stuff on that disc was from Faith. So they just labeled it Slippery New Jersey demos, and
Yeah.
the diehards who were trading at the time knew somebody just threw that on and they didn't know what the hell they were talking about.
Yeah.
They were just trying to sell bootlegs.
Well, so this was written by John Ritchie and Michael Kamen. This is probably one of my favorite tracks on this disc. Same theory as "Kidnap an Angel," which I forgot to mention, and "River Runs Dry." I'd love to see this one performed at a Runaway Trip,
Yeah.
an acoustic show. I don't think it'll ever happen. Obviously, it probably won't, but I think it's I think it has a really strong meaning behind it. And it fits with the whole "Keep the Faith" era vibe. Like this is pretty much another version of the "Keep the Faith." You got to have a reason to keep the faith. You got to have someone or something to give you that faith to move forward, and it's good to believe in something, a reason to chase after a dream or what have you. But I'll let you talk.
This is my favorite song on the disc.
Ooh,
hands
okay.
down. There is nothing even close to it. Just mostly because they're demos, but it was a simple song, and they let the vocals breathe. It has a lot of those, what I call living on a prayer lines again. If all we got is you and me, then that's all. Then what we've got is all we need. It's Tommy DeGena again. The bridge. I believe in faith. I believe in us till my dying day. I just loved. It was just two guys with a guitars, and that was it. It was simple. No, didn't need no, bells and whistles with it. Whether they meant to do it that way or it was a demo.
Well, let's back up real quick because I want to add to that. That's what probably the best part about the song is. It's pretty much just John and Richie, and hearing Richie harmonize with John. I mean, this is one of those songs that they just do so well together. Kind of like Diamond Ring,
Absolutely.
Ride Cowboy Ride. It's so
dynamic.
Good yeah, I think you're covering up your camera, buddy.
Oh, sorry. All my notes.
So, you have anything else you want to say about this one?
Not just, I was surprised. Well, Michael Kamen, he was the conductor. He passed away a few years ago because he did stuff with Metallica. And to see a conductor write a song, I was kind of like, wow, okay. There's not much real depth to the song, but it didn't need it. And that's what I enjoyed about it. It was a simple lyric for a simple song, and to me, like I said, it was my favorite on the album. Yeah. The whole disc 4, I should say.
I tell you, it's a bitch to play on guitar. I can't play the DF chord on it. Oh man! I want to learn to play it. It's just I gotta practice a lot. I shouldn't say it's really hard because I tried to play it last night, and if I don't get it the first time I play it, then I look at guitar tabs, and so I pulled it up last night. I was like, I can't get that fucking DF chord. I gave up. So my definition of hard probably doesn't mean it.
Just keep practicing. That's what he tells everyone. Just keep practicing.
It's like, who says you can't go home? I told myself for the last few months, I can't play that song. I got it now. I just looked at it, it's like, why didn't I try this again? Because it's dead easy. G, A minor. Anyway, Jackson.
Nice.
Sorry, Jackson Billy down. So the next one is All I Want to Do Is You. This was, I think John originally wrote this during Destination Anywhere period, but then put it to the side, and then Richie and him revisited it, and it was going to be a Crush on Crush. And then I don't know if it was actually ever supposed to be on Crush, but I knew it was written during the Crush
It was
demo.
right during the Crush era, yeah.
Jackson, come on. Go.
And to me, this is, I mean, now again, I'm going to get killed for this, but you talked about the songs, the four, now three songs you can't listen to. Captain Crash and the Beauty Queen from Mars. That's my sit down song. When they play that in concert, I sit down. To me, it was just a tongue in cheek kind of song, you know, and I know it's an audience participation song. I was like, well, now never once have I gone to the bathroom in 57 times I've seen them, but that's my, all right, I'm going to take a break for 5 minutes. And to me, this sounds just like that same kind of swing, that same, you know, the you and me, and then all I want to do is you. And I'm like, you know, it was a very tongue-in-cheek song. It wasn't a bad song. I just thought it needed a bridge somewhere in the middle. Take it to a different, or towards the end, take it to a different place for a bridge.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, the whole, go ahead, sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, the last 8 lines is just the repetitiveness. It's just like, you could have thrown something else in there. So,
yeah,
that's what I said. And the ending could have had a catch lyric. You know, if any song needed a living on a prayer kind of ending, I thought maybe this could have been something like that, a hook or something. That's all my notes say is needed a bridge, a very tongue-in-cheek kind of song comparable to Captain Crash in the swing of the music.
Yeah, like like you mentioned, this song doesn't really have anything to it. It's one of those fun songs you just listen. I'm not a big fan of Captain Crash either. I don't mind it, but it's definitely one of those fun songs.
Sure.
It's pretty much it's about sex, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
I do like the line
for itself.
I do like the line, keep your high heels on, take it nice and slow, make it last till dawn. And to back up, Crush was actually originally supposed to be called Sex Sells.
Yeah, I was at the bash when we demoed. We heard the demos.
So I wonder if this was one of those songs that was going to be on that album, because it kind of fit the style of it. But thankfully they didn't call it Sex Sells, and thankfully they didn't put this on the album.
Yeah.
But just I don't think Sex Sells was like if it was in the 80s maybe, but in 2000 the band's been around for almost 20 years. So but sorry about my dog. He keeps wanting to cuddle and stuff. So now he got
when we were at the 10th anniversary bash and they said we're going to demo you some new songs, we heard songs like Just Older, and that the title Sex Sells came out. And then when they had the Crush release party at the place Matt had owned at the time, Elements, and they said, why'd you change from Sex Sells to Crush? He said it just sounded better. There was really nothing more mystical behind it, because it just Crush sounded better.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I didn't care what the hell the title was. Just give us some new music.
Exactly. Give it to him. I tell you, I was 8 years old, so I didn't know about the band before that. But, looking back at history, I feel like Crush was really drawn out, like writing it, finishing it, releasing it. Because originally it was supposed to be out in 99, and then it got to June 2000.
Yep. As I said, we heard the demos in August of '98 at the 10th anniversary, and then he said it'd probably be mid '99, and then like you said, it got pushed out again. So the record business.
Next track. This is a song I really don't care for.
Is Billy a woman?
Let's back out. So the song's called Billy. It's for Keep the Faith album, written by John and Richie. Like you just asked, I don't know if it's about a guy, if it's about a girl. I think it's, you don't know if it's written in a woman's point of view or if it's about a woman, but you don't spell Billy with a Y for a female.
No.
So, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, what they were doing with this. I really don't know.
My notes were simple. Is Billy a woman? The lyrics really don't tell me nothing, but I love the music behind it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't get it. I don't, can we be lovers and friends? Well, who? Him or her?
Yeah. I like the line, sometimes we break up to make up, we don't care who's to blame.
Yep, so I had that highlighted.
Obviously, not that there's anything wrong with being gay. I don't think any of the band members are gay, so I don't think there's any inspiration from.
Yeah, I mean, it's for a debutante. You're a
Definitely not
red-hearted
writing
woman,
about a
but I
guy.
love you just the same.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. I don't get. Good
and
thing
that's
this is.
why I turned the page on that one.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one now. Well, let me introduce it. Nobody's Hero, and this was written during the Crossroads These Days era, written by John and Ritchie. Now, here's a fun little fact. Now, this is before YouTube and the digital era and all that. On the box set, it does not say "Living on a Prayer" demo on here, so you just think that's Nobody's Hero on there and then done. Now, if you go on iTunes now, 15 years later, when there's technology, it says "Living on a Prayer" demo. So I remember listening to this, and I would start from the first to the end, and I remember listening to "Nobody's Hero," and I thought the song was over. And then all of a sudden, you start hearing that funky guitar sound and that bass. We'll get to prayer here in a second, but it's funny that they didn't credit "Living on a Prayer" on here. But
hidden track. It was awesome.
Yeah. So let's go back to "Nobody's Hero." I love this song.
Yes.
I think it's all about, you don't feel like you're worth anything, but yet you would do anything and everything for the one person that you love.
That's what was my note. It's a love letter.
Yeah, a sequel to the letter to a friend, basically. I really love the line, out on these streets, they're waiting for blind eyes to see, they're waiting for our cuts to bleed, they're waiting for you and me. It's all about the ugly world that we're in. You can definitely sense that this was, obviously written for these days there, because it really fits into that style of album. I also like the piano intro.
That's what I said, the piano emphasis, the great acoustic vocals. To me, this could have been another Living on a Prayer type anthem. I guess you could say, Tommy saying something, saying this to Gina or something like that. I didn't think it was such a departure from the songwriting that they've done before. But for these days, if I heard this on These Days compared to what These Days was, I would have been like, ugh. So I think to put in this on the box rather than on the actual album, I enjoyed it more because they did this.
Yeah, it's definitely it was good that it was an outtake, but I still enjoy it. I think the best part of the song too is the powerful chorus. That it really has a good delivery to it.
Yeah.
Now when we get off, I'm going to go listen to that song now. So let's go to the prayer demo, which was the hidden gem back in 2004. Now, if you go on iTunes, you can find it easily. Anyway, this version is obviously a demo, and there's no talk box. I really love the guitar in the verses. I think the way that Richie was playing the guitar.
And here's where I'll get first thing. Rhythm guitar is annoying. I know it's just a demo. I just I'm like, oh my god, please just tone it down a little bit. Again, maybe just conditioned to the final version of it. But again, I had to take it for what it was worth. It was an original demo. Richie doing the prayer, Living on a Prayer high note, loved that. Richie's backing vocals, fantastic. When they get to the end and they say "just hang tough," I'm like, oh, thank God they took that out. I'm like, oh my God. But
I don't think there was nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I really liked it, and it's a demo because it's a demo.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I heard multiple versions of the acoustic version, and there's so many versions out there. Just this particular one, I'm like, again, maybe it was just a condition thing. Yeah. I've been listening to it since '86, so now when this came out 15 years later, or whatever, and I'm like 17. I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
But
I also like Richie's vocals in this one. There's more of Richie than in the final version. Obviously, you hear the whole band singing and stuff in the chorus, but in this version you get a lot more Richie, which is really cool, especially in the "Whoa, Living on a Prayer." And I know you like it, but I do. You hang tough, and I love those little ad libs in there.
That to me was just, I was like, oh, thank God. It was just 80s cheese, and I went, yeah. I'm glad they updated the lyric to that.
Yeah, it's definitely a good outtake, but it's still a gem to be able to hear and all that.
Oh, of
So
course, you want to hear, to hear a different version. That's why I got into tape trading, was to hear the alternative versions or the live song, the songs they would only do once live. I had to have that show, or somebody walked out on stage. I had to have that show. So I would just trade tapes just for those reasons. Is those one-off specials like this?
yeah, um, I was gonna say something to that, but then it just slipped my
Oh,
mind.
sorry.
Anyway, so I hope 40 years. I hope we get a 5 times as good box set as this.
Yeah, that's my worry. I've seen all the rumors, or what he's said at the previous fan club events or whatever. But I hope we do get something like that, something we haven't, whether he thinks we've heard it before or not heard it before. Maybe all the Christmas songs. Something different. They've released so many European, and as you know from my collection and your collection, so many different versions. And this
Yeah,
one's got these 2 tracks, and this one's got these 2 tracks. Well, you don't think people have heard them by now?
yeah,
Prostitute, Wedding Day,
I
six, three,
know.
four, five, 7, 8, 9. So I'm hoping there's stuff from Lost Highway, from stuff
After
from
2004.
yeah, after that. I'm not a fan of 2020. Or even What About Now. I like certain songs. This House Is Not for Sale. Again, I'm an old school fan. I go back to 7800. So there's certain songs, but as far as albums, I like the meat and potatoes. I see where Richie being gone has made the difference. And you and I have talked about it too. Just the way the songwriting has changed, and what I call the John Shanks influence. It's like, okay, he's done how many albums now? Let's, when he went to Mike Rue, there was a different change. When he went to the other producer, Luke Evans, and it's just, okay, this is a different twist on things. That's what I think. If there is an album being done, we know Shanks is involved, but that's what I'm hoping the next box set brings, is that where Obi knows the fans and Obi says, let's put this stuff out.
Yeah, well, we'll
So,
see. Anyway,
yeah,
thanks for staying on, because we'll talk after this. But I want to
sure.
thank you for coming on, and it was great having a chat with you, as we always do, buddy.
Thank you. I hope I didn't make anybody mad out there for my comments, but
Okay. We're all entitled to our own opinions. I'm one of those fans that just I don't like to complain. I'm not. That's just my person. I don't complain about things. I like things for what it is, and I don't just I just don't.
Yeah, for me, it's I when it comes to them and their music, I always hope for more, that next level.
Yeah, that's all right.
So
Thanks again, buddy.
you got it, Jerry. Take care.